when I get into northern Colorado, I'm gonna have to start skipping towns because those towns up there are those ski resorts, super expensive. I don't know, I've heard Salida is a pretty cool place and there's cheap accommodations. I'm gonna go check it out. Might be the last accommodations of those kind that I'll get the rest of my time in Colorado because I'm not gonna be dropping a bunch of money on a place to lay my head when you got this beautiful national forest out here. Let's go check out Salida. I made about 16 miles in the last hour and a half, dropping down about 1,000 feet. Pretty awesome ride. Now I'm back to Highway 114. I'm gonna take it west about a mile and then get back on one of the gravel roads going north and curving around the mountain to the east towards Sargent's. Just took a little break while I was pumping up my tire. Very kind lady stopped to make sure everything was okay. And she said she's a wildlife photographer and this road is known for having pronghorn antelope. So I'm gonna be checking out the hillsides as I go by and maybe we'll see something special. Climbing again. Got, I'm not sure, maybe 20 miles or something to Highway 50, which will take me to Sargent's. And then it's back to the gravel as I make my way up Marshall Pass. Well, I was hoping to get some cell service, make a phone call or two, but I guess T-Mobile doesn't use this antenna. That sucks. I met a couple biking southbound. They sounded like they were British maybe from their accent. And they told me in Sargent's there's a campground with showers and that kind of thing. So I've got that option. But if I keep making time like this, I'm gonna try to push on up towards Marshall Pass and see how far I can get. It'll make tomorrow that much easier for me. If I can get far enough up Marshall Pass, then I can probably get down the other side and all the way down to Salida by tomorrow evening. And there I can restock my groceries. There's a pretty cheap hostel I can stay at. I can get my shower there. So we'll just play it by ear. I just had to stop and point out this farm down in this valley. That's a special place. Out here pretty far in the middle of nowhere, but it's like a sanctuary, I'm sure. It'd be hard to find a much more of a beautiful spot to build a home. Here it is up close. Here's where I took my break. Some snacks, had some cranberries, some walnuts, some beef jerky. And then someone down the trail convinced me that the Payday is the best candy bar because it doesn't melt on you. Well, it does kind of melt, but not so bad. It's not like chocolate, and it tasted really good. It was very satisfying. I think he's right. I'm gonna hit the road, Highway 50 up to Sargent's. It's about 13 miles. Then it's 30 miles from here to Marshall Pass, to the top of Marshall Pass. But the info that I have suggests that about 6.5 miles shy of Marshall Pass, there's a campground. So that would be 23.5 miles from here. It's 3:30, so I think I can make it. That's gonna be an uphill slog, but I think it's doable. So that was super cool. I was just getting ready to go and this elderly couple pulled up and they offered me water. Thanked them and we got to chatting and they were just real nice folks. I really appreciate, I've met so many kind people, just really restores faith in humanity. And they even had a Palestinian flag decal on the back of their car. Free Palestine. Traffic's moving pretty fast in this road, but there's a wide shoulder, so I'll take it. I decided to stay the night in Sargent's. So I'm staying at a campground And the campground is attached to a gas station that has a little general store and a restaurant where I ate. It's cool because there's a bunch of other bikers camping here. But as my experience has been, all the bikers I see are going southbound. I was chatting with them. It really is a different experience, I think, depending on which direction you go, because most people are coming south. So like all these folks, you know, they met each other way up north and they've kind of come together in a backcountry peloton, you know, so they know each other pretty well. It's pretty cool. Whereas my experience has been, I meet people, cool people, and then I never see them again because we're going the opposite way. But I think going north works for me. I just ate a hamburger in there, but I'm still hungry, so I'm gonna make my second dinner. I'm all packed up, ready to hit the road. It's like 10 a.m. I've been moving slow these mornings, but I'm ready to hit this hill. Got about a 18-mile uphill to Marshall Pass, which is the Continental Divide. That pass is where the Continental Divide Hikers Edition crosses there, as well as the Colorado Trail. And I think there's a road up there as well. And then I'll go down into Salida. This place is pretty nice, only $15 for a campsite, shower, and laundry. I had a nice shower this morning. Beautiful day to ride, so I'm gonna get up on this pass. So as you might notice, it's 10:30 and we've got some vertical cloud development out there. So that bodes ill for the ease of this passage over the mountains. Might get a little haily out there. The ravens are out in force. You know, ravens are pretty cool. I learned the other day that ravens can live up to 30 years. I guess they've seen a lot on this landscape. I like to see the ravens. I didn't see any pronghorn antelope yesterday, but I was informed that this pass is also a known environment for pronghorn antelope. So I'm keeping my eyes peeled and I'm hoping I see some. That'd be pretty cool. All right, I heard my first thunder of the day, and it's over this building, cumulonimbus, over to the west. But I'm riding east, so hoping that the path remains clear in front of me. Doesn't look too bad, but we do got some build up here. But it's definitely not as dark and ominous as those clouds over to the west look. Just gonna keep on riding and see what this day has in store. Now I got 12 miles left until I get to the top of Marshall Pass, and the real climb is about to begin. So out here, we occasionally have these cattle guards. The cows won't walk across them. I learned that when you're going uphill and slow, you always want to walk your bike across these. Because I tried to ride it, I was going slow enough, my wheel went cockeyed, sunk in. If I hadn't caught it fast enough, my forward momentum would have pushed against the wheel sideways. It could have bent it all up. I would have been out of luck way out there in the backcountry. So I always get off my bike and walk across when I'm going slow and uphill. There's some thunder to the northeast. I've got about 11 miles to go to the top of the pass, and I just crossed 9,000 feet. Good news, so I'm breaking up into the pine tree line. The top of this pass is about 1,000 feet lower than Indiana Pass. And so it looks like I'm gonna have these pines all the way to the top of the pass. So that's important with these building thunderstorms, because it gives you some protection if you get lightning striking close by. You can jump off the bike and go hide in the forest. You want a good solid uniform forest, because if you're under a lone tree, it just attracts the lightning. So you want to try to be one of the lower things around. So if you're in a nice uniform pine forest, you can hide there and feel pretty good that you're safe from the lightning. When you're climbing up these passes and you see this buildup, if you don't have that protection, then that's good to just sit it out and wait where you do have protection, because especially on a steel frame bicycle, if you're the tallest thing around, put you up there in line for a Darwin Award, you know? So you always gotta have a plan. We got some beavers at work down here. I saw a beaver earlier down the way. This is definitely beaver country. Slowing the water down, spreading it out. This whole little low area is super wet because of this dam. It just shows how important these beavers are and their ecological niche here. All right, this is Marshall Pass. Got about 6 miles and 1,000 feet left to climb. The thunder's crashing behind me a little ways, getting some drops of rain, but feeling pretty good. All right, rain's picking up. Starting to get a little bit of hail, but it's not too bad. Got about between 4 and 5 miles left to the top of the pass. And I think I'm gonna put my phone away here to stop it from getting wet. So I'll get back to you. Found this little campground, so I decided to take refuge, see what happens. The sky doesn't look too dark and ominous, so I'm hoping it just passes. I put on my raincoat, put on my helmet because it was hailing pretty good, but that seems to just turn into rain. And I'm gonna put on my full fingered gloves so my fingers don't freeze. Not too bad right now. Definitely popping off some thunder. But hey, what's a mountain pass without a thunderstorm, you know? It's just a little gentle rain. I'm gonna keep pushing up this pass because like I said earlier, the trees don't give way. I've always got some shelter I can dive off into if I need to. But I'm gonna push on up this pass and down the other side. Now it's pretty nice. Took off my rain jacket. I'm about 3 miles from the pass and about 500 feet left to climb. So that's pretty good. "17 miles, about 2,000 feet, and 4 hours later, I'm at the top of Marshall Pass. That was fun. Now I got a 24-mile descent down to Salida. It's about 3,500 feet down. I haven't had a really good hamburger yet this entire time, so I'm looking forward to that. Maybe Salida has it.
Hey, yo! Burger, burger, you're my crave. From the diner to the microwave. Grilled or fried, I'll never stray. You're the flavor of my day.
On my descent here, I crossed paths with some cyclists going the opposite way. And it was a mom and her two, pretty young kids, maybe 13, 14-year-old, maybe 12 and 13 really. And they'd come from Canada. That's a big accomplishment for a kid. So there's some pretty cool people out there to take their kids to do these things. And those are the hazards of trying to film while you're riding downhill. Not the smartest thing ever, if I do say so myself. I was going slow and no harm, no foul, but that's a warning. Be careful.